Okay, well, finally, despite weather and work schedules and everything else, I finally managed to get my my Buick Roadmaster home. It's a 1993 Roadmaster, black exterior, tan interior, or beige, medium beige, I believe is what GM calls it. It's in pretty decent shape, and I'll go over what my plans are for the car. Right off the bat, you can see it's the famous GM bumper paint loss around the front there. Back bumper has it too. The body on this car is actually, yeah, okay. It had some oopsies in its life. Here's the passenger side, obviously. Got a little oopsie there. You can see where it's a little, the light reflects right. You can see how it's a little creased over there. Paintless dent should be able to take care of that. And you got more oopsies back over here, bigger ones. I have an auto body acquaintance that I think can help me out with that. I'm not looking to spend any money on this at all, if I could help it. Then back over here, another little oopsie. See, it'll probably just be popped out. That doesn't look too bad. None of the damage looks horrible. It does need a little bit of paint over there, but we can cross that bridge when we come to it. And the molding is screwed on with a drywall screw. Awesome. Back fender, excuse me, back bumper has the usual paint loss. You know, nothing too out of the ordinary. Driver's side looks pretty good. Got some scratches, some dings and dents. I don't know what the heck's going on over here. That's interesting. We'll see though. But as you can see, the body looks pretty good. Now, the main thing regarding the body, if you know these cars, is I might have gone by too quickly, but as you can see, or not see for that matter, there is no quarter panel rust. This is dirt right here. Nothing, nada, zilch. Reaching my hand in there, near the side of it, there is no rust there either. Same thing with the other side. Same thing with the rocker panels and everything. This car is rust-free, and it's a big thing that drove me to this car, because obviously it has its share of issues, which we'll go over. But the big thing is, and we'll take a look under here. Oh, get down on the ground, and I already did a video of this. But if you see the frame, see that nice black stuff on the frame? This car was undercoated. I'm guessing from the dealership. So that saved a lot. The stuff that wasn't undercoated, like the exhaust, it's a little rusty. You know, the axle, drive shaft, you know, a little rusty. Not horrible, but rusty. You know, surface rust kind of stuff. But the frame, which is the big issue with these cars, is pristine. You have to look for rust, like really look hard. I mean, you can see some right there on the bumper supports. You know, and that's one of the big things that I really went for is the fact that I have a nice strong bones, I guess, to work with. And when they were undercoating it, they went around and didn't here because you could feel it, and I really can't show you, but it's all undercoated in here, and it's nice and solid, and there's nothing going on, no holes, no pitting, which we're going to keep it like that. We'll make sure we spray that down, you know, when the nicer weather comes and most of the salt is off the roads. Tires, yeah, Uniroyals, not great. Something's going to need to be done about that. I think I apparently locked it before. Keyless entry doesn't work. I could pop the trunk if I'm standing right up next to the trunk, but keyless entry, the door lock unlock does not work. That's going to be issue number one. Pop the hood. And while we're here, the interior is very nice. You know, things usually look a little bit better in videos and pictures than they do in real life, and that is the case here, but not by much, not much better. This really is a very clean car. It was owned, I am the third owner. It was owned by, or bought by an older woman in Long Island, of all places. She moved to Jersey. The car's bought in Jersey by the previous owner, and then he had it for a while. It was in Warwick, New York, and I grabbed it from him. And that's even more testament. This car, it's not like a Southern car or Southwest car or anything. This car spent its entire life on the East Coast, Long Island of all places. Lots of salt and stuff like that. So I guess the undercoating, with the combination of probably not being driven a whole lot in winter, probably had a lot to do with the fact that it survived as well as it did. You know, they must have been small people, because the seats themselves, it's my battery tester and my little GM code puller, which isn't worth anything. Didn't work. The interior of the upholstery is great. And not only that, but the seat padding, as weird as it sounds, the seat padding on these, like, you know how they get worn out from being sat in so much? It still has nice padding. It's nice and cushioned. So, you know, these weren't big people driving this car. It kept its resiliency up. Let me unlock the other doors. Again, nice clean interior. We'll get to the paper in the corners of the window in a moment. I'm sure you already know what that's about. You know, nice and clean in here, nice and clean in here. Yeah, some scuffing over there, but no rust. The back seat is in real nice shape as well. Very comfortable too. Again, this isn't the limited. This is the regular interior, regular seats, not the overstuffed, nicer leather. So yeah. So as far as issues with this car, I know the funny one that everyone likes to say is, well, it doesn't have an LT1 in it. That's a big issue. And yes, I know it doesn't have an LT1. It has the lowly LO5 in it, which is fine with me. I don't drive fast, nor do I intend to drive fast, but I have a plan. I have a plan. So engine itself's in good condition. We'll actually start it up in a minute. 100, if I didn't mention it already, 104,000 miles. Was maintained. The Carfax had all the service history on it, as well as a pile of service records I got with it. And they brought it to the dealership, and they had everything, almost everything on the dealership. So this got the oil change. The transmission fluid is pristine. That was changed. The filter was changed on that. The differential was changed. The brakes were done. Everything was done. The only thing that's going to need to be done is plugs and wires. I guess that stuff they either didn't bother with or didn't want to pay for. So that's going to have to be done. But as far as the little issues, one issue is the tires. We already talked about that. And a little bit of the body work. We talked about that too. But right here you can see the window. The jumped off the track, probably the little football things that hold the window in the track on the window regulator, whatever you want to call it. I believe that's no good. That broke, so that has to be replaced. This window does not go up and down, and it's being held up and held in by a little piece of a coffee cup maybe, and a piece of paper. Start this baby up. And you'll see a couple of the other little issues. Oh, drop the keys. So, I don't know if you could hear that, but the starter is sounding a little like it's on its way out, which is fine. We can take care of that. I actually have a starter in my shed for this. Long story, but I've had a starter for a 93 Roadmaster for years sitting there, and I finally get to use it. So, let's see, 104667. You see the ABS light is on. I tried to pull the coat off the ABS light, and it doesn't do anything. I tried to jump the two connectors and make it flash and all that. I get nothing. I just get it staring me in the face. So I do have the service manual. I'm gonna have to take a look at that to see what the deal is. My voltmeter gauge right here. reads a little bit high. The battery, the alternator is putting out 15 something, normal. Battery is at, you know, about 12, 13 volts, normal. So that's a little off. Temp gauge really never moves much past that. I have a couple ideas why that's going on. I've heard a lot of other people say that their Roadmasters, that temp gauge doesn't really move a whole lot. So I might not be in the minority here. That might be just something, you know, sounds like a common problem. Fuel gauge fine, oil pressure gauge is fine. It's a little chilly right now. It's got 10W30 in it, which I'm pretty sure it's supposed to be 5W30. So that's it's running not high, it's running well. It's right where I think it should be, and it does drop a little bit once the engine warms up. Radio does not work. It looks like somebody has been tinkering around with the radio and all that stuff. There's a cable in the back, and you know, I gotta look into it. The nice thing is, bonus is the power antenna actually works. It goes up when the car goes on, and it goes down when the car goes off. But the radio button has no effect on it. It just decides to go up and down when you turn the car on and off. So I'm sure there's some little investigating and fixing that has to be done with that, and we will get there eventually when I have time. Steering, basically I can move the steering wheel this much, and car doesn't do anything. So it's a very common issue, I'm told, by a bunch of people. Moldy Mac, who's another big GM guy, I was talking to him about this car, and he said that the center link and the idler arm go bad, or commonly go bad. So I bought everything. I bought all Moog parts, and I'm going to replace the center link, idler arm, and the inner and outer tie rods one day. Get all that done, get an alignment, and new tires too, probably. I'll just get it done in all one fell swoop. I'll do the steering parts, but I'll have my connection with the garage do the tires and the alignment and all that, put it up on the rack. What else? Carpet is, the interior is nice and pristine. There's not even like dirty hand marks or anything on here. So with that said, since the interior is so nice, I'm just going to go to stockinteriors.com and get a new carpet. This carpet's stained. I'm sure I could probably shampoo this and all that other nonsense, but why bother? I'm just going to get a new carpet. It's not that much. And they have all the different kinds of colors and all that. I'll get the extra padding on the bottom of it, just to, not that the car needs to be any more quieter, but I'll get it anyway. They do the D-Max padding, or whatever the hell they call it, I forget. And so I'll put a nice carpet, get all this, and that'll give me a good opportunity to take all the seats out. Obviously I'm going to have to with the carpet, and I can give it a good vacuum and wipe down and everything. So that's a project for a nice day when I have a bunch of time, or a couple days when I have a bunch of time. That should be good. And as far as issues, that's really about it. I have enough to keep me busy on it, which is what I wanted. I wanted a project car, you know, something to work on. I don't want something that someone's done all the work already on it and I have nothing to do, because hey, what fun is that if you like to tinker? And it is a nice, reliable means of transportation. What I will do, you know, aside from the things I mentioned too, is plugs and wires. I don't know if that was ever done. I did not see if that was ever done. Maybe it was and I didn't notice. But plugs and wires definitely going to get done. And the coolant, it looks like it could use a nice flush. The coolant definitely is not looking so hot. But no leaks. Everything's nice and dry underneath. Runs nice and quiet. My AC, oh, and the nice thing too is the AC actually works on this car. I had this a day when it was 60-something degrees. I turned the AC on full blast and it was cold. I was shocked. It's running right now because I got the thing on auto, the auto climate control, and it cycles it on and off to keep the temperature where you want it. And the first thing I did today was I changed the air filter. One step in a long journey of what I got to do to this thing. As far as long term, like I mentioned before, what I'm going to wind up doing is I'm going to keep this, work on this, learn about these cars until I find a nice low mileage, very good condition 94, 95, or 96 LP1 Roadmaster, a limited. I want to go all out and find one like that. So that's the plan. Hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks very much.